Hi, Dennis. How are you?
All right.
This is Lisa. Is this a good time for you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you need to know?
So I'm doing a research paper on the whole case, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at all the witnesses, and I'm noticing a trend, which seems to be nobody was really either taken seriously or even really called back. So my whole point, or my whole reason for reaching out to you, is to really find out if that's true, because I also see that they said that there was a lot of files that are missing in the case, so I didn't want to assume that they didn't reach out to you or that they didn't ask you a lot of questions or whatever, but I just don't see it.
No, they didn't answer. They didn't ask us bull crap, okay? Did you ever get the book, The Frustrated Witness?
I did, actually, and that's where I kind of found most of everybody's information, because he has it put together really nicely there.
Oh, yeah. He's Willis Morgan, I met with him in 2009, I think it was.
Oh, okay. So right after he got the files.
Yeah. That's how he got all my information and everything. So, but yeah, that about tells the story right there. It's that we told them, we called and contacted the police, told them what we saw, and then they called us back in about an hour or so, after we put that in, and they told us, oh no, we already know about that. It has nothing to do with his abduction and whatever. So in other words, they're not going to do nothing with it. And they never called back after that.
Which is crazy. So when you were driving, now you were on the CB radio with, is it Homer or Cliff? I couldn't figure.
Yeah, Clifford. Well, it's Clifford. It's Cliff. He uses his middle name, but his real name is Homer Clifford Rainey.
Okay. And so...
Yeah, we both driving together, and we were, he was probably a mile behind me. We had the CB radios and everything. And by the time, when I went by, I seen him near the canal, and by the time Clifford went by, he was already by his van.
And you saw somebody by the canal, like with that footbridge that they show?
Yeah. And then when he was a mile or two behind me, so by the time he got there, he was away from the canal back to his van. So maybe I scared him coming by, and he ran back to the van,
Right. And then what you guys saw was basically a blue van with the same, just one person?
An older blue van, and and a guy, white guy. And he was at the 131 mile marker right around there. And, like I said, I seen him by the canal, and it looked like he was throwing something in the canal. And by the time Clifford got there, he was over by his side of his door, his van door, with it open with the bucket. He had a bucket, white bucket.
And now something...
I don't think you fish in a canal. Okay.
Right. And what time of night was it? Or was it day or night?
I think that was 12:30 at night.
So the middle of the night, and he's obviously...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was what you... Because you were the over-the-road truck driver or long-haul truck driver, was that common for you to, see something odd and CB somebody behind you to see if they saw it? Or,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we worry about people breaking down. That's what we... And then it's on the opposite side of the turnpike, so we can't stop. Normally, we stop. If we were going the other direction, we would have stopped.
Because back in 1981, there wasn't cell phones, so if somebody was on the side of the road...
everybody used CB back then. If you broke down or something. We even, if we had any problems, we would go to Channel 9 and contact the police.
Oh, okay.
And that's what channel they were on.
And so you didn't know if he was broken down?
Channel 9.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't realize that. But, I think about it, and it makes sense because... You were on your own back before cell phones, so if you were stranded, you had to rely on a good Samaritan.
Oh, yeah, you had to rely on the CB radio or somebody coming by to stop, And normally, if we seen somebody with their lights flashing or something, they were out there trying to fix a tire or something, we would stop.
Were the lights flashing on the van, or was the van just pulled over?
I think they were flashing, but I'm not sure. This is 40 years ago.
Yeah, no, I didn't know, It's hard to recall. I understand. I was just curious. So then, when you saw it, you...
Well, no, I don't think he had him flashing. What Clifford said is that he had the side door open and the dome light was shining inside.
Oh, so he got...
That's what he said.
So, but when you saw it, you just saw the guy outside of the van.
I saw him outside. He didn't have the van door open when I went by.
He was carrying a bucket?
He had got out of the van and was out, and they threw something. Then by the time Clifford come, he'd already got back to the van and opened the sliding door on the side. So the light went on, and he probably seen more of the... All I seen was a white bucket when he was throwing something into the canal, but I don't know what it was, you know?
Right.
He could have been dumping his bucket into the canal to get water. Like Clifford said, he might have had a radiator problem or something, but he said the hood wasn't opened.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Of the van, so, you know...
Wasn't like
that's why we called. That's why when they found it at the 130, you know, the head at the 130 mile marker. That's why we called the police. You know, because we seen the guy there. You know.
So that was what, like 3 days after you drove by?
Yeah, 3 days after, I think it was, whatever. Because that was on the 7th, and they found it what, on the 10th or 11th?
The 10th, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was 3 days later. Yeah.
So then that's when you called, and did you get a hold of somebody right away, or did you leave a message?
Well, we got a hold of somebody, you know, and they said, we'll have the detectives call you back. So within an hour, maybe an hour and a half, they called back. And like I said, all they said was, oh, no, that has nothing to do with the abduction or anything. We already checked in, and other people already told us about that or whatever, you know. And that was it. They never come to the house, never had to come in or anything, so.
That's crazy. So just because it was a blue van, they thought it was unassociated?
Yeah, well, that's why I say Willis Morgan, he thought it was Dahmer. Everybody else thought it was, what, that Crenshaw?
Oh, they're trying to say it's Otis Toole, who's really not even a convicted serial killer. He only killed one person, and that's actually who they closed the case, saying it was. But he was already dead.
He confessed to it. Did he confess to it?
He did, and then he's also known to be kind of a serial confessor, and nothing he said was true. If anything, he got a lot of vacation time out of the jail, giving them a runaround, because they never even proved anything. But what Willis says is he saw Dahmer, and then he's got so many people that have not only said that they've seen somebody that fits his description, but everybody else has the same scenario. And if you line up what everybody says, like the timeline with the blue van involved, it points to Dahmer more than it points to Otis Toole or really anybody else.
Yeah, and they seen the van at the mall.
Right. And he had access to a van. And so, I mean, of course, there's holes in everybody's theory, but in my opinion, there's more factual evidence and circumstantial evidence to prove Dahmer versus Otis Toole, who unfortunately they said is the one who did it. And I really don't, quite frankly, believe that at all.
Yeah.
But I just think it's crazy that nobody followed up. And not only that, but in 2007, when Detective Matthews, who closed the case, got the case file and did his research, he never called you, did he?
No, no, never called us, no.
So even in the beginning, if they for some reason dismissed any blue van because they thought for whatever reason it wasn't involved, even 10, 20 years later when they did open it up again, they never called you. And here I am.
Nothing called. The only one that seen me, like I said, was Willis Morgan. He was the only one. He called in 2009.
Right. Which is just, yeah. So that was my whole purpose of calling you, is to verify that. Not that I don't believe Willis, because I do 1,000%. It was just, you know, if I had to believe anybody in this case, it's going to be him, because he's the only one that's not lying, it seems.
And like I said, I didn't think nothing about it until he called me. I said, well, okay, we never called. I mean, they called me just that one time, just to say, okay, we know about it, but they never brought us in and really questioned us for anything else.
Right. And, well, which makes me believe they never really took your statements as credit.
The only statement that they took was, I guess, when I talked to the lady at the police department, and she said she'd pass it on. That's the only thing
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to add, or is it okay if I use your statements for my paper?
Sure, you can use my name.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, and you're in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm in New York. We're lucky if we get 2 months of summer up here. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, a friend of mine just went back. He's up state there.
Yeah, a lot of people come from there down here. It seems to be a lot of back and forth, but maybe that'll be your thing. You could be a reverse snowbird.
Well, I'm going back up here, up to the island, because that's where I'm from originally. This summer for a while.
Staten Island or Long Island?
Yeah, Long Island.
Oh, okay. Willis is from here too. I actually live in the Hudson Valley. I live in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm south of Greenport, not Greenpoint.
Oh, okay.
Greenport, by the ferry that goes across to Connecticut.
Yep.
Out on the island. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Little fishing town.
Yep, definitely a lot of fishing here.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Any more questions now? I don't know if Cliff is still alive. He's in Georgia, so.
Yeah, I was going to give Cliff a call too, because I wanted to kind of corroborate both of your statements, because I know Willis did all this work and I already talked to you guys, and I don't want to, go in and he's given me so much information. I've talked to Willis actually at great lengths, and I kind of want to get it myself and also hear it myself and be able to use my work as well as his, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm reaching out to you guys, and I appreciate it. And like I said, nobody else has reached out to you, which is crazy.
Oh, no, that's it was almost, I'm going, man, 2009, I'm going, why are you calling now?
Yeah.
Well, nobody's doing nothing. I said, well, it's already over. I mean, everything's finalized. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to put him in jail twice?
Right.
The other guy in jail twice?
I think at this point, though, it's more of injustice of how the police department handled this.
How the police handled it, yeah.
It's, it's unfortunately you can't convict the serial killer who already did his time for his crimes that he was found guilty of, but you can figure out where they went wrong. And unfortunately, these police departments aren't just one-man shows where this is the only case they solved. This is one of thousands. How many people are sitting in jail right now that shouldn't be?
Yeah, they shouldn't be in jail, sure.
So, I mean, and I don't even care to get into that very much, but it's just the whole thing is that's what it becomes. It really does. So it's more or less the justice for finding the truth of really the corruption that's going on in those departments, which is sad.
Yeah, they just wanted to close the case, that's all.
Yeah, and, like I said, I do investigative journalism, so to me, it's like I'm not a cop, which is nice because I don't have to deal with that, but I also get to kind of hear all the sides of the story. I appreciate your time, and it was nice talking with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, you too. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.